For this movie, we are going to construct perpendicular bisector to a line segment and an angle bisector. So we go to geogebra.org, and the first thing we do is put our text for what we're going to construct, and we're going to put perpendicular bisector to a line segment. So we first have to start off with a segment. And it doesn't matter how long it is. We start off with a segment, and then what we're going to do is construct. So we go to circle, compass. We're going to construct a circle that's centered at A, and then so circle centered at A, and I click A to B, and then I moved it over to A and did a third click. That third click places the circle down. Now I have a radius length AB. I'm going to do the same thing, but start at A and go to B, and you'll see that I have a congruent circle, but I'm going to center this one at B. And once you've centered it at B, you've created 2 points. You've created a point at the top where the 2 circles meet, and a point at the bottom where 2 circles meet. These 2 points are equidistant from A to B. They are on the perpendicular bisector to AB. And that is quite simply how you create the perpendicular bisector to a line segment. So I'm going to move that over. And now we are going to create an angle bisector. So an angle bisector, first we have to start off with an angle. So if I create 3 points, I have an angle. I need to get a ray for both sides, so I go from the vertex out and from the vertex out. So there's my 2 side rays. I want to get rid of this measurement on the inside, so I go down to delete and I click on the green, and that gets rid of it. So I've got my starting angle, and now I need to bisect the angle. So the very first thing we want to do is I might actually take E and move it in a little bit because I don't want this circle to be too big. And I'm going to create a circle with a radius FE. So I go to compass. I'm going to click on E, then click on F, and I've got a circle that now has a radius length of FE. I'm going to place it down at F. Now I'm going to put a point where my circle meets the other ray, and I call that H. Now what I know is that EF is congruent to HF. So I've got equidistant points, H and E. Now what I need is another point out here that's equidistant to HE. So it's just like the perpendicular bisector. I'm going to put a circle around these. Let's go to compass. I'm going to go from E to H and leave that circle at H. Notice it goes through E, so HE is my radius. Now I'm going to go from H to E and leave that circle at E. What I've created here is another point right here that's equidistant to H and E. Now I've got 2 points, F and this point out here, that I can draw my ray, F through this point. And I have bisected this angle now. Bisected the angle. You can test that by going back to your angle measure. And if you go I, F, H, you get that. And then if you go E, F, I, you get that, both 25.1. So we have bisected the angle. And that's all for this movie.